So hello my dear students. So I hope you're all doing well today. I hope you are taking care of your bodies as well. So without further ado, let's start our first video lesson in CWTS 10013, or what we called, our subject title is Civic Welfare Training Service 1. So again, I am your teacher, your instructor for the whole semester on this subject. I am Mr. Aaron John S. Castro. So if you got any questions now regarding the video lessons, the topics that we are discussing, you can raise it later on our Google Meet session. So I will try my best to keep this a 20 to 30-minute video only, for us to save time, to save effort, to save money, and of course to save data and to save resources. So let's start with Module 1, Introduction to National Service Training Program. So by the way, let me apologize for the background noises. If you hear some background noise, it's the sound of my laptop, the fan of my laptop, and I don't know how to edit this one, so please accept my sincere apology for this one. But then just listen to me, just look at the slides and listen to me carefully. Okay, so Module 1, Introduction to National Service Training Program, or what we call NSTP. So what are the learning objectives of this module number 1? So at the end of this module, you should be able to, number 1, identify the provisions of RA number 9163 or NSTP law. Number 2, identify the PUP philosophy, vision, mission, shared values and principles, and 10 pillars. And of course, identify the PUP NSTP vision, mission, goals, and objectives. Unit 1, Salient Provisions of Republic Act 9163, or what we call NSTP law. So be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the Philippines and Congress assembled. So as what we all knew, lahat ng bills na sinasubmit sa Kamara at sa Senado ay nire-review. It is carefully reviewed at pinagbobotohan up until makarating sa ating presidente. So the Republic Act 9163 or NSTP law, dumaan po siya sa proseso from being a bill to being a law. So this is year 2001. Section 1 of the law is that short title. So the act shall be known as the National Service Training Program NSTP Act of 2001. Section 2, Declaration Policy. It is hereby affirmed that the prime duty of the government to serve and protect its citizens. So take note of this. The prime duty of the government is to serve and protect its citizens. And in turn, it shall be the responsibility of all citizens to defend the security of the state. And in fulfillment thereof, the government may require each citizen to render personal, military, or civil service. So as what you will see sa ating slide, it is pure words only. Why? Because these are the legal base, legal basis of the NSTP or the CWTS subject of. So expect, we cannot summarize laws, yung mga ganito. We need to discuss it one by one. That's why if you can see, wordy po talaga si PowerPoint today because of the nature of NSTP law. Again, I'm sorry for the background noise. There are children who are playing outside, Sana all nakakapag-play pa ngayon, Okay, let's move on. Recognizing the youth's vital role in nation building, the state, the role of the state shall promote civic consciousness among the youth and shall develop their physical, moral, spiritual, intellectual, and social well-being, So the state should help us, of the youth. As a part of the youth, a state should always help us. It shall inculcate in the youth patriotism, nationalism, and advance their involvement in public and civic affairs. So, as a pagbalik natin sa state ng kanilang pagtulong ng state sa atin ay dapat we instill the patriotism, nationalism, and advance our involvement in public and civic affairs. So, in pursuit of these goals, the youth, the most valuable resource of the nation, shall be motivated, trained, organize and mobilize in military training, literacy, civic welfare, and other similar endeavors in the service of the nation. So let's proceed to Section 3, the definition of terms. Letter A, National Service Training Program. A program aimed at enhancing civic consciousness and defense preparedness in the youth by developing the ethics of service and patriotism while undergoing training in any of its 3 program components. So later, the 3 program components will be discussed, will be also tackled. P. ROTC or Reserve Officers Training Corps, no, a program institutionalized under Sections 38 and 39 of Republic Act number 7077. So designed to provide military training to tertiary level. Literacy Training Service, a program designed to train students to become teachers of literacy and numeracy skills to school children. Letter C is the Civic Welfare Training Service. So this is the nature of our subject, CWTS. Refers to program or activities contributory to the general welfare and the betterment of life for the members of the community or the enhancement of its facilities, especially those devoted to improving health. No, take note of this one: health, education, environment, entrepreneurship, safety, recreation, and morals of the citizenry. Program component shall refer to the service component of the NSTP as enumerated in Section 4 of this Act. So, Section 4 of this Act, ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina yung 3 major components of the NSTP or National Service Training Program. So, first one, establishment of the National Service Training Program. Establish an National Service Training Program which shall form part of the curricula of all baccalaureate degree courses and of at least 2-year technical vocational courses and is a requisite for graduation consisting of the following service components. So first one, the Reserve Officers Training Corps or yung tinatawag nating ROTC. So this is more of the military training, no, under the NSTP law. The Literacy Training Service and the Civic Welfare Training Service. So kanina define natin yung mga yan, yung Literacy Training Service, you are being trained to be the teachers of the children na ating bayan. Well, Civic Welfare Training Service, more of the wholesome, no? As a whole po na component of civic welfare. That's why it is called as civic welfare. You are being trained. So the ROTC under NSTP shall instill patriotism, moral virtues, respect for rights of civilians, and adherence to the Constitution. So, the CHED, ayan po, nakasulat sa atin, the CHED, the TESDA, the DND, Consultation on DND, Department of National Defense, no, Philippine Association of State Universities and Colleges, yung PASUC and Coordinating Council of Private Educational Associations of the Philippines, no, COCOPEA, other concerned government agencies may design and implement such other program components as may be necessary in consonance with the provisions of this Act. So, these bodies, no, sila yung may concern when it comes to the implementation of the NSTP other than of course, the implementation under the Constitution. So, sila yung may hawak. Most likely the CHED, the TESDA, the DND, the PASUC, and the COCOPEA. So, Section 5, no, coverage. Students, male and female, of any baccalaureate degree course or at least 2-year technical vocational public, private, shall complete one of the NSTP components as requisite for graduation. So, just like the Rizal, no, Rizal is a mandatory subject in tertiary, in college. No, you will be taking it soon, or maybe iti-take siya maybe second year or third year, but it is required, just like the NSTP, because this is under the Constitution, no? Nasa batas po natin ito. Section 6. Duration and equivalent course unit. Each of the aforementioned NSTP program components shall be undertaken for an academic period of 2 semesters. So that's why I'm saying this to you. No, there is CWATS 1 and CWATS 2. So if you failed to pass the CWATS 1, most likely you will not be able to take CWATS 2 because it is pre-requirement. For you to take CWATS 2, you need to pass the CWTS 1. So, ganun din po ibang program, the Literacy Training Program and the ROTC. Dalawang SEM rin po siya tinitake. So, Section 7 ng NSTP offering in higher and technical vocational educational institutions. So, all higher and tech voc institution, public and private, must offer at least one of the program components. Okay, so all higher technical vocational institutions, public and private, kahit ano po, it should the NSTP should be offered in any college, in any school. Next, offering the NSTP whether during the semestral or summer periods, clustering of affected students from different educational institutions may be done, no? Taking into account logistics, branch of service, and geographical consideration. So, let's skip this one, no? Let's focus on the other section. Section 8, fees and incentives. Higher and technical vocational institutions shall not collect any fee. So, shall not collect any fee for any of the NSTP components except, of course, the basic tuition fees, which shall not be more than 50% of what is currently charged by schools per unit. So, ito po yung about sa fees and incentive. Section 9, scholarships. There is hereby created a special scholarship program for qualified students taking the NSTP, which shall be administered by the CHED and TESDA. Funds for this purpose shall be included in the annual regular appropriation of the CHED and TESDA. So Section 10, management of the NSTP component. So the school authority shall exercise academic and administrative supervision. So kung sino si school authorities natin, for example, the CWATS coordinator, siya po yung mag-handle, no, ng academic and administrative supervisions over the design, formulation, adaptation, and implementation of different NSTP components. Of course, it should be adhering, no, sa CHED and TESDA, no. Regional officers shall oversee and monitor because they are the one that needs to monitor the implementation of the NSTP per school, no. That's the task of CHED and TESDA and DND as well, so Department of National Defense. Section 11, creation of the National Service Reserve Corps. There is hereby created a National Service Reserve Corps to be composed of the graduates of the non-ROTC. So members of this course may be tapped by the states for literacy and civic welfare activities through the joint effort of DND, CHED, and TESDA. No? So if you are a graduate of a non-ROTC program, for example, you are graduate of CWTS, automatic, you are members of this corps that they can be tapped for literacy and civic welfare activities. Now, as long as you graduate in the CWTS program 1 and 2, the state can tap you anytime, no, for literacy and civic welfare activities. So, si ROTC naman, on the other hand, of course, they are military reserve. Okay, shall form part of the Citizens Armed Force pursuant to Republic Act number 7077. So, Section 12, now implementing rules. The DND, CHED, and TESDA shall have the joint responsibility for the adaptation of the implementing rules of this Act within 60 days from the approval of these Acts. So the three agencies shall consult with other concerned government agencies, no, the PASUC, the COCOPEA, the NGOs, no, should recognize student organizations in drafting the implementing rules. Section 13, no, transitory provisions. So ito na yung more to technical part na students who have yet to complete the basic ROTC except those falling under Section 14 of this Act may either continue to the program component they are currently enrolled or shift to any of the other program components of their choice. So transitory provisions, no, as you can see, I think there are students, no, na enrolled po sa subject natin sa CWTS who chose first ROTC, but then ROTC is not available for this sem because of the maybe the school is just adhering to the guidelines of the IATF, no, limiting the face-to-face interaction. So they are opted in to be on the CWTS program. 14, suspension of ROTC requirement. Now, the completion of the ROTC training is a requisite for graduation is hereby set aside for those students who, despite completing all the academic units as of the effectivity of this Act, have not been allowed to graduate. So, separability clause. No, every law, lahat na may separability clause. In any section or provision of this Act shall be declared unconstitutional or invalid. No, the other sections or provisions not affected thereby shall remain in the full force and effect. So, 16, amendatory clause. 17, effectivity. So, Section 35 of Commonwealth Act number 1, Executive Order number 207 of 1939, Sections 2 and 3 of Presidential Decree number 706, and Section 38 and 39 of Republic Act number 7077, as well as laws, decrees, orders, rules, and regulations, and other issuances inconsistent with the provisions of this Act are hereby deemed amended and modified accordingly. So, I guess we are all set. Let's proceed now to Unit 2. PUP, Philosophy, Vision, Mission, Shared Values and Principles, and 10 Pillars. So the PUP Philosophy, I am hoping, no, that maybe next week or next week, kabisado niyo po ang PUP Philosophy. No? Even though this is not a requirement, no, I think this will be part of our requirements. I will be making this one. No? As a state university, the Polytechnic University of the Philippines believes that, number 1, education is an instrument for the development of the citizenry and for the enhancement of nation building. So, education is an instrument, no? Number 1. Number 2, that meaningful growth and transmission of the country are best achieved in an atmosphere of brotherhood, peace, freedom, justice, and nationalist-oriented education imbued with the spirit of humanist internationalism. Next is the PUP vision. No, the PUP vision. So let's have the PUP vision, the National Polytechnic University. So that's our vision, to be the National Polytechnic University. So PUP mission. So what's our mission as a PUPian? No? Ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning. So mabigat, no? Medyo mabigat si mission natin. Ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education, promoting lifelong learning opportunities through a re-engineered Polytechnic University by committing to, number one, provide democratize access to educational opportunities for the holistic development of individuals with global perspective. So number two, offer industry-oriented curricula, no? Industry-oriented. So you are job ready when you finish the any programs in PUP, no, that produce highly skilled professionals with managerial and technical capabilities. So hindi lang basta managerial, you should be a professional. You should have the technical capabilities and a strong sense of public service for the nation building. That's one of the missions of PUP. The third one is to embed a culture of research and innovation. So as a university, no, one of the heart and soul of the university is that it should be inculcated. It should have a culture of research, no, and innovation. Continuously develop faculty and employees with the highest level of professionalism. That's why every member of the faculty of PUP, no, should never end when it comes to studying. They should always learn something new. Engage public and private institutions and other stakeholders for the attainment of social development goal, and of course, establish a strong presence and impact in the international academic community. So what are the PUP shared values and principles? So first one, I need you to memorize this one, okay? So integrity and accountability, nationalism, spirituality, passion for learning and innovation, inclusivity, respect for human rights and the environment, excellence, and of course the democracy. So 10 pillars. So we have the 10 pillars. So what is pillar? Later on, I'll be asking you the same question. What is pillar? So pillar 1, dynamic, transformational, and responsible leadership. Pillar 2, as you can see here, so what you can read, responsive and innovative curricula and instruction. Pillar 3, enabling and productive learning environment. 4, holistic student development and engagement. Number 5, empowered faculty members and employees. 6, vigorous research, production, and utilization. 7, global academic standards and excellence. 8, synergistic, productive, strategic networks and partnerships. Active and sustained stakeholders engagement. Sustainable social development programs and projects. So these are the 10 pillars of the PUP. So let's have this PUP NSTP, now National Service Training Program vision, mission, goals, and objectives. So the NSTP, now PUP NSTP vision. What is the vision? The PUP National Service Training Program envisions itself as the nation's prime mover in community building, involvement, and link aging. So the PUP National Service Training Program, it's all about the mission, is committed to provide a globally competitive reserve corps, whether civilian or military, who shall be leading agents in attaining a better quality of life, sustainers of peace, unity, cooperation, and growth in the community. So just like what I have told you earlier, PUP is offering two kinds of NSTP program. Now we have the CWTS, of course, and of course the ROTC. So whether civilian or military, we have the word civilian or military. Civilian reserve corps, of course, for the ones who finish CWTS, while the military reserve corps is under the ROTC. So PUP NSTP goals. First one, offer components of NSTP. Provide comprehensive lessons and training in all the NSTP components. Develop a spirit of volunteerism among the students. Adopt a participative learning. Provide instructional and training paraphernalia. Present highly qualified pool of NSTP trainers who will provide capability enhancement for civic welfare. Produce service-oriented and responsive students who will be the help of the university and community. So objectives, no. By the way, what's the difference between goals and objectives? So later on, we will discuss this, no, on our Google Meet. So I will be asking you, what's the difference between goals and objectives? No, why is it separated? PUP NSTP goals and PUP NSTP objectives. So PUP NSTP department shall inculcate among students the ideals of patriotism and nationalism and enhance their involvement in public and civic-oriented activities. So train the students in various fields of endeavor imbued with moral values that enhance their intellectual, physical, moral, spiritual, and social well-being. So establish linkages, of course, with government, non-government institutions, and other relevant organizations that can provide trainings, exposures, and practical applications. No, so can provide training. No, linkages with government or non-government institutions. No, that can provide a lot of experience, exposures, training, and practical application. So adopt a highly contextualized, fun, and innovative way of training the students who shall become productive, concerned, and highly involved volunteers, leaders in the community. Train, retrain NSTP trainers in the different capability enhancement programs. So that's all, no, for our module 1. I told you this is just a short discussion, 20 to 30 minutes, I guess, no? Tingnan natin after I render the video. So our activities, assessments will be discussed in our Google Meet or Edmodo class group or Messenger chat group. So we have 3 lessons dun sa module, so expect now you have at least 3 requirements for this one. No? I'll be discussing it later. Okay, I'll be sending it on our Edmodo classroom. So questions, I hope you write some questions. No, later we can discuss it. We can collaborate, no, for about the things that we discuss or we learned on this lesson. I hope you do learn. No, I hope you do learn, every one of you. So that's all, guys. No, thank you very much for listening, and we can now proceed to our Google Meet. Bye bye and take care.